Hey guys, my name is April and you are watching hashtag Go Live with April. Before we get this video started off, let's give Jesus a head clap of praise because I am giving up cussing for Lent. Yes, I am trying very hard. Y'all remember when Steve Harvey transitioned from, his regular joke telling to he was now a Christian comedian a little bit, and he was on the TD Jakes World Tour or whatever, and he had to stop cussing. I'm at that point in my life where it's okay, we're gonna learn some new words. So in honor of Lent, I am giving up cussing, and so far I've been doing okay. But I'm striving to be better. But if you clicked on this video, then you are most certainly interested. Like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm here for my life update, and a big life update it is because you guys have been following along with me on this journey. We've been on this journey to more and new and greater, and really just kind of working on our relationship with Jesus, and just really kind of walking in our purpose and figuring out who we are. If you're new to my channel, then make sure you subscribe because you're probably just now coming in on this leg of the journey or the race, but it's never too late to get started. So make sure you subscribe, and if you're already feeling it, then thumbs up this video. So it was about this time last year, literally it was this time last year where I was just kind of in a place where I was like, God, I know that there is so much more that you have created me to be, that you have for me to do, that you have placed inside of me. And I was just really kind of at a point in my life where it was I'm not going anywhere. I'm not progressing. I don't see myself being as great as I know that I can be. So God, what did you create me to be? What did you create me to do? What is my purpose in life? Who am I? Not who my mom said I was, not who my grandfather said I was, not who, this world or society has made me into be, or what they want me to be. Who did you create me? Because if you formed me before my mother's womb, then you had a plan in mind, because that's what the scripture tells us, right? So yes, today we are getting that Oprah deep. This is Oprah life class, okay? That's the type of update this is. So I'm just what did you have in mind for me when you created me? Because I don't feel like I'm doing it. I know that I am not doing what you created me to do. So, I just kind of started a personal journey. I didn't really even tell anybody. I just, did it in secret on the inside. It started off with me, eating healthy. Then I started working out. As I started working out, I started to just kind of feel better. My mind was a little bit clearer, I was able to focus more. So I started to, every day just sit down, pray and meditate. And I know you sit down every day and pray and meditate. Yes, but I didn't start off with hours and hours. I wasn't yogi level 1000. I wasn't there. I just started off with a little devotional book that I have shown before on my channel that was just basically 3 minutes. So you went through the whole devotion, which it had a scripture, a real world application, a biblical application, and then a prayer at the end. And that really just kind of helped to guide my day. It kind of helped to center my thoughts, kind of helped to get me kind of focused on, God early in the morning, because I did it when I first woke up. And from there, I started to be able to sit longer. I started to be able to meditate longer. I started to be able to be quiet longer. Just daily, it started to progress and progress. And as, I was praying and meditating, I was really just asking God to reveal to me, who am I? Who was that, 7-year-old April who had all the dreams and ambitions and goals, and I was just fearless and just so, and I was it. I was great. If you ask anybody, they was just oh, she knows that she's going to be a star and she's going to be something great. And I really felt like that when I was young. I was always just dancing in the mirror, always singing in the mirror. I was always talking. My grandfather literally always had to sit me down and he had to read Ecclesiastics to me. There's time to talk. time, chick. There's time, there's a time, there's a time. And I was just like, ain't nobody here for all that. So I'm like, who was she? Like, how do I get back to her? Because she was so innocent and she was just so pure and she was just so full of life and she really believed that she could do anything. So, you know, who was that? Like, how do I get back to her? So, you know, God just began to deal with me, you know, over a period of, you know, the whole spring and summer. I really got into the prayer and meditation in April. I started to write actually in a prayer journal. So my prayers went from, you know, just like an internal heart prayer, you know, because I wasn't even praying out loud, to, you know, just kind of writing it down, just like my thoughts and my prayers and, you know, my affirmations and things like that. I wrote it in my prayer journal, which consequently is like actually right behind me. The yellow one, if you can see it. And so, you know, all spring, all summer, you know, I was just praying, meditating, eating right, working out, just really just kind of working on myself in secret. And I was just kind of laying low, peeping stuff. I wasn't really saying too much. Like, God really had me in a period of listening. Like, I was just like, if you can ask any of my closest friends, I'm going to ask them to report to the comment section below and confirm everything I'm saying, please and thank you. But people would come over my house, you know, in the spring and summer, and it would literally be like Pocahontas, like Mother Willow in here, because it was just that peaceful. Because in the morning I was getting up and I was seeking God and I was meditating, and my life was just at peace. Like, no matter what anybody else had going on, like, I had peace because, you know, I was like, I'm in the garden, I'm in the garden with Colin. Y'all know that movie? If you know the movie, comment below. Y'all, this is really, you know how I get down when I do my videos. We got the new setup. I'm not on the big comfy couch, but it's still your girl, okay? So all spring and summer, you know, I'm just, you know, asking God to, you know, reveal my purpose, reveal who I am, take away any negative things that I had learned over my, you know, 29 years of life. Any negative thoughts, any negative words, any negative actions, anything that was not like him that I had acquired over this period of my life. Because I had been through some things, you know, at this period. You know, if you have watched my stillbirth story, you know, where I talk about the loss of my daughter. And then there were so many other things. I had, you know, almost lost my life literally twice. At that point, like, literally almost died. So it was just like, God, like, I feel like I done been in this place before, so I need you to really just be clear. And so I just took the time to really hear what he was saying to me. And, you know, it came around to, you know, about my birthday, my 30th birthday, which was really nice and really lit. I wasn't expecting too much, but God just kind of gave me everything. And I really feel like it was just him blessing me for my diligence and my steadfastness throughout the spring and summer of really seeking him, because he really was speaking to me throughout, you know, that period of time. So when it came around to my birthday, you know, on August 30th, you know, I had lost weight. You know, I felt like I was popping, like I'm clear on, you know, who I am, or I'm becoming clear on who I am. And I'm really starting to walk and step into that. And it's like, you can't tell me nothing. This is who I am. God loves me. You know what I mean? I was telling everybody that I was like at Kanye level 10, because Kanye has a confidence about him that, you know, I'm firm in who I am. And even though I might be flawed and, you know, I might be loud and you might think I'm crazy, like, God loves me and I love myself. So I was tapping into I love me like Kanye loved Kanye, okay? So after my birthday, you know, I was off for 3 days after, you know, my birthday. And I really just kind of sat down and I said, okay, God, we've been working all spring. We've been working all summer. I've been walking this thing out. Like, what is the plan? What is, you know, the pathway that we're going? And I really just kind of took 3 days to just sit in the house. I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have to go anywhere. I just really just kind of sat and I just, wanted to see what his plan was for me. And God was just like, I've been preparing you in secret. Like, I've been revealing to you who you are. Now it's time to hit the go button. And that is when I created this, Go Live with April. He literally was like, let's hit the go button and go live. Even though I say it's go live, it's really go live. So I was like, cool, bet, like, let's do this. And he was just like, I've called you to be able to live your life and get paid for it. Now, I need y'all to take this journey with me, because through the whole time, I'm going to tell you what God told me. And to some, it might seem odd, but the journey and how God took me was that he always showed me the end of it. Some people he shows the beginning, some people he shows the middle, but for me he showed the end, and the end of it just happened to be the reward. Because as I have mentioned on my channel before with my why I quit my job video, like, I am futuristic. Like the Myers-Briggs assessment, these are corporate world assessments that they assess your talents and skills. It was futuristic, and the ability of someone who is futuristic, according to this, assessment, is that once they have the vision, they are able to run towards it nonstop without moving, like a freight train, like they just gonna go, because they can see the future, they believe in the future, and if they see a clear path of how to get there, they're running towards it and they're not stopping. So it's not shocking to me that God would show me the end of it, like my reward at the end of the rainbow, versus showing me all of the steps of how to get there, because he knew as long as I could see the end of it, like, oh honey, you just ain't gonna be able to stop me. And that's what happened. So to back up, I started the YouTube channel, and then with that, he was just like, I'm going to allow you to live your life, broadcast it to the world, and get paid to do it. So I'm like, okay, cool, lit. He's like, well, if you trust me, quit your job. And so I'm like, Jesus? I trust you, first of all. Let's get that out the way. But I'm making $50,000, and he's like, well, do you like your job? And I'm like, no. Do you see yourself going anywhere with your job? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, why won't you quit? And to me, it was just like a matter of everyone just kind of being like, asking me that question, like, why would you quit? And my answer is, because God told me to. And then people having follow-up questions, you know what I mean? Because if you're doing something on faith, you really don't have the answer to the follow-up question. You know what I mean? Like, the answer to your follow-up question is going to sound stupid to most people, because it's like, God just told me to do it. I'm just stepping out on faith. I'm quitting my job. I'm doing this YouTube thing. I don't really know how I'm going to get money. I don't really know how I'm going to survive. But God was just kind of doing little things throughout the spring and summer. I had sent my car back. I told him, come pick it up. Y'all might call it repossession. I call it voluntary repossession. You can have it. So it was just little things like that. My lifestyle changed. I was living more simpler. I wasn't, eating out. I was cooking. So, like, looking back on it, the journey that he took me through, like, it all makes sense now, but it didn't make sense while I was going through it. Like, why would I give back my car and now I have no vehicle? You know what I mean? But he was really just kind of setting me up to the point where, after I quit my job, I really didn't have any major bills. There was nothing that I really needed other than a roof over my head, food in my belly, and clothes on my back. And I had, all of that. So I went ahead and I quit my job, and God was like, cool, you stepped out on faith. Watch me take care of you. Watch me take care of you. If you just continue to trust and you continue to have faith, I promise that I will take care of you, and you will never go hungry and you will never be without. And I am a living witness that God has taken care of me. I don't know how, and I'm not gonna cry because I got my cute setup going, but I don't know how God has done it. Like, literally, how, I'm not sure. I haven't had income since September of last year, and everything I've needed, everything I've wanted, nothing has gotten cut off. Nothing has gotten disconnected. I've always had food. I've had enough food to give food away, to throw food away, to have whole family events, and we eating, and not only are we eating, we're eating organic, like, you know, how, Sway, how? So he really was faithful to his promise, and he still is faithful to his promise that he made me, that he would take care of me. So I'm just, you know, just going ahead. I done got his testimony service. I probably should have started off with giving honor to God who was ahead of my life. But so after I quit my job, y'all know I was in a relationship, and aside from, you know, God saying that, you know, he was going to take care of me and this was the act of faith, me quitting my job actually was the catalyst to the end of my relationship. Let me let you know why. Because I was dating someone who loved money, period. He loved money more than he loved God. You can debate it. I know it to be a fact. And me quitting my job just kind of blew it. It was just like, oh, so you just gonna quit? Like, what is you just gonna do? And I was like, you know, God told me to leave my job. I don't want to be there anymore. Like, I'm not going. It's not making me happy. I'm sad every time I go. Like, I'm just not doing it. And it just really kind of started to show me some things in the relationship that, you know, through the summertime, I wasn't really paying attention to, because I was just kind of working on myself. And you can ask everybody around me. I was just, you know, in my own zone. I was there, but I wasn't really there. Like, I was just doing me, and I was just developing into the person that I am today. So after I quit my job, I was on like my lemonade tour, like like real life. If y'all really know, like, Beyonce went through that whole thing with Jay-Z on the Run tour. Like, that's when she wrote Lemonade. But you know, I'm just a Bayhive stan, so y'all probably won't listen to me, but I know this, okay? So all through, you know, the summer, you know, I'm on my Lemonade tour like Beyonce. I'm like, you know, I'm seeing if this is gonna work out. We done got to the end of the song, the end of the album, and God was like, it's not. You didn't even have to go on the Lemonade tour. I could have told you this back when, but you weren't ready to receive it, or you weren't open to hearing it. And so now it's right in front of you. What are you going to do? And I'm like, God, you know, I want everything that you have for me. I don't want to be unevenly yoked to something that you haven't, you know, called me to. Like, I fully realized that I put myself in this relationship, and I was choosing to be in relationship with this person. If you haven't, pause. Make sure you check out my video on why I broke up with my ex. And make sure you watch all the way to the end, because at the end is where you really get the full message, the full power, the full strength. Like, if you just watch 5 and 10 minutes of it, you're kind of left like, what is she talking about? Well, the video is made for you to watch it all the way through. So you can click right here and you can watch it, or here, I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but click it and watch it for sure. So, you know, not to re-go and hash through all of that, but I ended up leaving him. So that was the next thing that happened. You know, after my 30th birthday, I quit my job. I actually cut my hair during that time too. Make sure you check out that video. But that was just like, you know, a product of me working out. It was just like, I'm working out, this weave, this long hair. I just need to be natural because I sweat like 2 pigs. And that ain't the look. But I also broke up with my ex, and so after that, I was just kind of at a place where I had to really fully trust and depend on God, because the only person who was in this house was just being him. And that's exactly where he wanted it. He wanted me to almost be isolated, in a sense, to where all of my time, all of my energy, all of my focus was on me and him. And he started to really deal with me over the period between November and then going into December. Like, you know, Thanksgiving came, Christmas came, and, you know, watching the videos, if you haven't seen my VLOGMAS or, you know, our Black family Thanksgiving, you know, it looks as if, you know, everything is going well, which it was going well. I had a joy, I had a peace that this whole world could not take away, but there was also struggle in there because, you know, I'm like, you know, God is dealing with me, and if God has ever been dealing with you and trying to like beat purpose out of you, like, that's literally how you feel. Like you, like, you know, what is that J. Clint Carr song? Like, I thank him for the pressing and the beating. The olive has to go through 3 stages. What is that song? Karen, you report to the comment section below and put the name of that song right at this moment, because I can't think of it. But that's really what I was going through. Like, even though I had joy and peace and I was smiling and I'm surrounded by good family and friends, like, the moments in the midnight hour, like, you know, when it's dark outside and all you can see is the stars, and God just got you up and he just tearing you down and building you back up and then tearing you down again and then building you back up again, is like the worst process ever. In real life, like, I'm not gonna play and just act like everything is just like flowers and lilies and, you know, things like that. Like, it's not. Like, it's gonna be some moments where God is showing you who you are and you're like, well, that's just awful. Well, that's just bad. But all through it, like, he just surrounded me with his love and his grace and his mercy. And he's like, you know, even though you are this and everything, you know, all of that had to happen to get you to right here. And my love is enough, my grace is enough, and my mercy is enough, that even while you were just all that, you was thinking you was all that, but you was all that messed up, like, I still love you, I've still called you, I've still anointed you and appointed you for work. So around about December-ish, you know, God just kind of took my YouTube channel to a different place. And he was like, you know, I want you to use this for an evangelistic tool, because I was at the point where, you know, he didn't, you know, shape me and mold me. Like, I'm on the wheel and he's just doing his little thing, like Ghost on... Really, April? Yes, like Ghost, Whoopi Goldberg. You know how they was sitting at the little thing and they was just like, except for mine was just more like, he put his hands on me for real. So he's like, you know, I want you to use your YouTube channel for, you know, an evangelistic tool. I want you to really do what you do in your natural everyday life, which is basically in my own unique, swagged out, myself type of way. You know, I do introduce people to Christ. Anyone who's ever been around me, whether it was, you know, we met at school, we met at work, we met just customer interaction, or just out, you know, just in life, like, when they meet me, they leave with a feeling of, that was an encounter. I know, it was. So God was just like, you know, I want you to, you know, have greater purpose for this. I don't want it to just be vlogs and hair and makeup and food and working out. Like, I want you to really, you know, give the people something that's going to impact their life. Which, you know, it made sense, because even when I started my YouTube channel, if you go to my About Me on my YouTube page, which is my YouTube page you should be on right now, it's follow along with me on a journey, because I didn't know where this journey was going, but I knew we were going somewhere. And so it's like, if you're watching, if you're subscribed, if you're, you know, following along, then we're going somewhere. I'm going somewhere, you gonna go somewhere. Where we going, I don't know, but just follow along with me. So I started to drop these videos, you know, where, you know, I was almost giving my testimony, my story, and you got these little injections of Jesus in it to be able to apply to your own life, so you can make better choices or better decisions, or come out of wherever you were. Especially videos like, you know, my homeless, which... life update pause. I am still technically homeless. I don't own this house. I ain't paid no rent. At any moment I could leave it, but God's grace has been sufficient enough to keep me in a comfortable place while I've been going through this transitional process, and I thank him and my uncle for it. But the house is on the market, so if it sells, I'm gonna bounce out. But I'm fully confident, because I've always been confident that when it's time for me to go, it's really gonna be time for me to go. So that's the update on that. But make sure you check out that video, because if you watch that video, like even when I watch that video back, I cry every time. And it's not because I'm sad. I cry because it's like, wow, what faith did that take to lay there on the couch like that and say, God, I trust you so much. Like, I really did. Like, even through the tears, my heart was happy. It was just like, God, I trust you, because obviously this situation is here for me to grow, for me to learn, for you to get the glory, and for you to just show up and show out. And he did, because I'm still in the house and he's showing up and showing out daily. So, you know, all of that was going on. So I really started to walk in that, and I just thought that, you know, that was the calling, that, you know, that, because remember, and we went back, that he showed me the end of it, that, you know, I was going to be able to live my life, record it, upload it to the world. It was going to have influence and impact, and I was going to get paid to do it. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing what God said that I'm going to do. This is going to work out. And, you know, God just started showing me time frames, and every time he would show me the time frame, you know, it would be springtime. It would be springtime when, you know, things were turning around, when things would turn over, when, you know, I would start to be profitable. So I'm just like, I just got to get to spring. I just got to get to spring. So go through December and I come into January. Check out the video of how I spent my New Year's Eve, because, you know, that was a miracle in itself. Normally I would be at church, and I wasn't at church, and then I was actually invited to a party, and I didn't go to the party because something in my spirit said, you know, bring in this new year different than you've ever brought it in. Like, really bring it in the presence of God. Like, really just bring it in with you, Jesus, and your own self. So we just sat on the couch. We watched a little Steve Harvey. I chilled earlier that day. You know, some family came over, but bringing in the new year, when 12 o'clock hit, I was praying, meditating, seeking God, like, okay, it's 2018. This is my year for new and greater. So all 2017, I was slaying stuff like, you know how. Have y'all ever seen that show Forged in Fire, where they make the different knives and you got to test out the knife to see if it'll cut, you know, the thing that it's supposed to cut? Like, y'all, I was just cutting stuff off left and right in 2017. I was crying unicorn tears. I was praising God like I had on Yeezy boots in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. Like, we don't want no devils in the house. We want the Lord, and that's it. Like, I was losing my mind. If you watched it, you know, on Snapchat, make sure you follow me on Snapchat. I'm sure most of my followers who were just, you know, spectators was like, this girl is crazy. But those who were really in tune, they knew that this is the type of level of worship, relationship, and, you know, faith that it takes to be all who God has called you to be, and not who you want to be for yourself, or not who the world has made you to be, but to really be in constant relationship, constant contact, and walking in purpose, being on fire, faithful, and relentless. Yes! For Christ! that just did something to me. You know that word. Anyway, so we moved on. Before I turn up, before we get to the end of the dang on life update. So, you know, January hit and stuff started moving so fast. Like, so fast. Over that period of time, I have been, you know, following Pastor John Gray. I hadn't been to church, and most people, you know, think that's odd for me because my grandfather is a pastor. I grew up in the church. Literally, my mom birthed me on the pew. So I have always been in church, even when I left Restored Life for those years, because I just needed to grow outside of the watchful eyes of the congregation. Because when you're a pastor's child or pastor's grandkid, like, you're held to a higher level of expectation than everybody else, and you don't really have a lot of room to make mistakes and, you know, experience life without, you know, everyone having an opinion or, you know, whatever like that. Not that, you know, that was bad. It was just like, God was just like, you know, I'm gonna take you away for some years because I want you to be able to have the space to grow, you know, outside of Restore Life Ministry. So I had been under watch care at Phillips Temple for a while, and then I stopped going there, and I just, you know, was leading my own self, because what I had discovered is that, you know, during this time frame, my 29 years of life, I've always went to church, but it wasn't until last year that I really had a relationship with God, where I really had a deep prayer life, where I didn't just pray on Sunday, or I didn't just pray when I needed God, or I didn't just pray when I was in trouble, that I prayed every moment, every day, where I wasn't just relying on my grandfather or any other pastor to give me the word. I was really opening my Bible and reading it like consistently, you know what I mean? So I really didn't feel like I actually had a real relationship with God until last year. So I was leading myself, and I grew tremendously under my own leadership, if I you know, want to pat myself on the back. So I was just at a period where, you know, I wasn't going to church, but I knew that I needed fellowship. Like, I knew that I needed and wanted a pastor, because I totally respect the office that a pastor holds. But I didn't trust anyone to lead me spiritually. And then, you know, I happened to find Pastor John Gray on the internet, you know, just scrolling down Facebook one day, and there he was, and I don't even remember what the video was, but I was like, whoa, I need more. So I just started watching all the videos, and then, you know, I started tuning in on Wednesdays when he would come on Lakewood. So I said all that to say, you know, I had been following him for a while. Then January 2nd, it might have been the 2nd or 3rd, there's a whole video for it. God was just like, this is your pastor, and I need you to announce it to the whole world, because at this point my grandfather was transitioning out of his pastoral role. So it was almost like I was free. Like, I was just free to, you know, just do whatever I wanted to, because he's no longer a pastor. So it was almost like God was just saying, like, I just need you to just to hold on just for a little bit longer, and then you just go fly. So January 3rd, I'm like, Pastor John Gray, that is my pastor. Watch the video and you'll hear everything I had to say about that, because stuff is about to start moving real fast now. So I'm like, John Gray is my pastor, because I really felt like we had the same heart. Like, every time I listened to his message, it was like, he's speaking to where I am now, not to where I was, where I am now, and to where I'm growing. Look at that pretty little butterfly. I get distracted, obviously. So I was like, John Gray is my pastor. And then what's funny is, because like after I said that, like a couple days later, he like, I'm getting my own church. I'm like, really? It's lit. And then that night when I went to, you know, do my nighttime prayer, God was like, move to Greenville. And I'm like, wow, okay, I'm gonna go. At this point, I don't question God when he tells me to do something, because we done been through some things and he has proven himself to me, so I don't question him. Now, I might sit in self-doubt for a little bit and a little inadequacy in my head, but he's, you know, he's still working on that, but I don't not trust God. So he's like, move to Greenville. I'm like, cool, lit. I call up Gina. Gina is Peter. If y'all watch John Gray, y'all know what that means. I'm like, Gina, John Gray is our pastor, because I feel like, you know, I'm going to leave me and Gina's specialness to us, but one day we'll talk about that. But I'm like, John Gray is our pastor. I'm moving to Greenville. You moving to Greenville too. We going to church. So at first, that's all it was. It was just like, John Gray's my pastor. We going down there to go to church because I need a pastor. I don't see, God done told me to go. There's nothing holding me here. I can do my YouTube channel wherever. Girl, we packing up. We leaving. It's lit. So after, you know, I kind of made that declaration, you know, Pastor John Gray started to do the Speed Up series, and it just tore my life up every week. Every week. It was like, God was just like, boom, 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 boom. Like, I'm just like, I'm just taking like hit after hit after hit. And it's not hit like, you know, like a bad hit. It's a hit of like he's pushing me somewhere, like he's, you know, like he's pushing me into something else. Like every week it was just like he was revealing new things, and, you know, he was calling me to do something else, or he was, you know, revealing something else about myself, or he was challenging my faith, or, you know, challenging, you know, my knowledge of the word. And through this whole time in January, I had been fasting. Now, I didn't say that I was fasting. If you go back and watch the vlogs, I just said I wasn't eating any meat. But you're not supposed to say that you're on a fast when you're on a fast. So I'm letting you guys know now at the life update, I was on a fast throughout January. I wasn't eating any meat. And that was the last little bit of fat I needed to lose too. So that kind of worked out. So, you know, I'm just, every week I'm getting the Speed Up series. I'm praying. I'm fasting. God is really showing me the direction because, again, I went into 2018 like, God, this is my year for new and greater. So where are we going? Where are we going? And every week, John Gray was just telling me where we were going and how we were going to get there. And through that time period, God revealed more to me because, remember, he always showed me the end of it. He never showed the things in between. So, you know, as it comes, I walk in it and I just know that this is going towards what I seen at the end of the vision. And so one day in January, God was just like, I want to sit down and tell you the whole thing. And I said, okay, I'm ready to listen. And he was just like, throughout this process, I wanted to see if you would be diligent and if you would be faithful. Because there had been periods in my life where I had been like totally just committed to the work and the ministry of the Lord, but I always kind of went off track because I started to go towards April, which is I can make it happen on my own. And I just thought that I was going to get there by working hard on my own power and not in the power of God. And throughout this whole situation, God was just like, I put you in a position where you couldn't move, where you couldn't do nothing, where you didn't have the resources. And the only way that you can make it happen on your own was for you to step out of what I called you to do, which is, you know, I would have to go get a job. And, you know, make it happen on your own. But because you've been faithful, I wanted to see if you would be diligent and faithful over a little, you know what I mean? Before I hit you with the ooh off the bam. So the announcement is God has called me to preach. Yeah, so when he told me that, I was like, really, Jesus? Really? We did all of that just to get here? Don't he take you the long way around it and just be like, shh? But thinking about it, it really wasn't that long. Like, all of this started in September, and now we're in January, and to me, it seemed like it's been forever. But when I actually look back at it, it's like things have just been popping off so quick. So I'm like, okay, God, you called me to preach, and he's like, yes, now I want you to sit on that for a minute because there's still more work that I need to do. There's still more character building that I need to do. There's still more that I need to reveal to you other than just preach. So the only person I told was Gina. Gina is Peter. Y'all remember that. I told Gina and she like, cool, bet. What we gonna do? You know, she just be ready to go. And I love her for it. So, you know, through that time, you know, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell my grandfather, who again is the pastor. You know, God was just kind of like, I want you to wait and I want you to tell him after he retires. So after he retired, you know, God was just like, okay, it's cool now to go ahead and tell him that I have called you to preach because I want you to tell him as your grandfather and not as your pastor. So I told my grandfather. That was the second person that knew. And now we're like in, you know, February, and I'm still just sitting on it. And, you know, I'm not really saying anything. I'm just really praying. And remember, I was still on a fast, so I was still fasting. And now we're in February, and it's like it's Lent. So I went from one fast to another fast because I am participating in Lent, even though I'm not Catholic. But it all kind of ended up working out because I had to push myself even further in my prayer and fasting. So I went from, you know, praying and meditating and reading my Bible for 4 hours a day till I wake up at about 6 a.m. and I'll go to about 12. So my day doesn't actually start until 12. That whole time I just spend with Jesus. I don't even know how many hours that he is, but y'all can calculate it. That's how much time we spend together every dang on day. So he was still, you know, dealing with me and, you know, just kind of revealing some things to me. And you might say that, you know, from January to February, he told you that you're going to preach and this and this and that. Y'all haven't been watching. I'm moving at the speed of purpose, the speed of breakthrough, the speed of authority, the speed of God in real life. So he was just dealing with me, and I still hadn't told my family at this point, and you know, God, because I wasn't really sure where he was taking me. But throughout this time, you know, I have come to know that my YouTube channel was my busy work. It was something for my hands to do so that I wouldn't move through this whole period of shifting and transition. So, you know, I was still working on my busy work, my YouTube channel, and, you know, I'm wanting to expand that and just make it grow, because whenever God gives me something, I'm like the person, you know, I'm going to give it back to him better and greater. So you gave it to me, it's going to be lit. And I had started to, you know, just kind of make some plans and different things like that about where I wanted to take my YouTube channel. And I met with actually the people down at DATV to transition my YouTube vlogs, because y'all love the vlogs, to television. And so, you know, I was working through that process, and God just really kind of began to deal with me. He said, you know, okay, I want you to tell your family before you go to this, you know, moving the vlogs to TV, I want you to tell your family that I called you to preach. So I held a family meeting. Yes, we have those. We like the Braxtons. We are the Braxtons, and you'll see that we are not like an ordinary family. I'm Tamar, but so I held a family meeting, and I let everybody know, you know, that God had called me to preach. And nobody was shocked by that. You know, they had a couple questions, but for the most part, everybody just kind of affirmed what, you know, God had already told me, what he had been dealing with me with. And he also shored up some things, because, you know, this whole time that he called me to preach, I'm like, well, obviously I'm not going to get up there and be like Larry D. Coleman. I have to be April D. Carter, and, you know, she's just swagged out. She likes Kanye, Beyonce, you know, she watched Marcus Lemonis, but she loves Jesus, you know what I mean? Leaves out cookie and milk for Snoop Dogg on 420. So, you know, just who I am, the makeup of who I am, you know, everything like that. Remember, I gave up cussing for Lent, so I'm a new creature now. Like, I'm more refined, okay? I haven't cussed once in this video, so I'm proud of me. Thumbs up this video. But, you know, I'm still me. Like, I still have to be me to the core. And he was like, you know, that's exactly what I want you to do. I wanted you to be so sure of yourself, so sure of what I've called you to do, that you wouldn't change it, that you wouldn't taint it, that you would just be, you would be you 100%, because it's the return of the singles classes. That's what God has called me to do. He's called me to preach and teach singles, because even though, you know, people say God's called you to preach, you know, yeah, but preach what? That was my question, was preach what? And it was like, you know, go back to the point that you left off. If you guys have not watched my I Was the Side Chick video, all of that happened right around the time that I was teaching singles classes at Restore Life Ministries. RLM, y'all know singles classes was lit. We went everywhere. We went to the movies. We went to a Valentine's Day ball. We had good, invigorating, stimulating, challenging discussions about what it meant to be single, how to be single, what God says is single, and how to live that, you know, relentlessly God, there go that word again, single life. And so then, you know, that's what he just kind of told me to do, and everything is going so fast from here. Like, there's so much more that he has positioned me to do, but I'm not going to tell y'all until it actually comes to pass, and I know that it is, because he already told me it was. But singles classes is back, so look out for the new wave, my new vibe, my new energy every Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I'm not going to say a date. Every week we will be having singles classes here on Go Live with April, where we're going to walk this thing out together, because I have been through the single life. We are living single. Oh, the night is kind of world. I'm glad I got my keep your head up, keep your head up. I just had a whole moment. But no, like in real life, I really am qualified to teach singles classes, not only because I've done it before, but because I really have lived a single life. I have gone through some experiences, and even experiences I haven't gone through. It's like Sex in the City. My girls, they done been through it all. So collectively as a group, we got enough content to knock this thing out. God's been dealing me with the word. My prayer life is steadfast. I'm sold out for Jesus. I am celibate and single. I have made a promise to God that I will be single for 3 years, like 3 whole years, because I need to give him the opportunity to continue to mold me and continue to shape me and continue to make me, because I'm not going to get into the first episode of Single Class, but before he gave the woman a man, he created her. They spent time together, so he had to have told her what she needed to do before she even was presented to him. So I'm just trying to figure out and do all that I'm supposed to do before I'm presented to him, and that was that was more than what y'all was supposed to get. But you already know the singles classes is gonna be lit. Like, we are gonna be in the word. Everybody who's taking my singles class before, I need you to report to the comment section below, and just let the people of the whole entire world know that from here on out, it's about to be lit. They don't even know what's about to happen. The experience, the breakthrough, the influence that is about to hit your telephone, your TV screen, your life is just about to be astronomical. And I'm really just thankful and grateful that I allowed myself time, patience, and the grace to grow through this process, because God really has been working on me. He really is, like I said in my other video, blessed. Can I say trap niggas? I don't know, but Future said it. I'm just repeating Future's words. Like, he really is blessing everybody, and all you have to do is just open your heart and ask him to fill you with his spirit, fill you with his love, to direct your path, to let you walk into purpose, and to reveal what your purpose and who you are, directly to you. And if you need assistance with that, make sure you're subscribed, so every week you can walk this thing out with me. We can go through it together. Y'all already know how I get down. You've seen the side chick video, except for it's going to be way more censored. I'm not going to cuss. And God is still working on me. Please be patient with me. So that's really all I had to say. Y'all know my videos sometimes can get kind of all everywhere because I don't have notes, but I have been working. I've been watching Pastor Sarah Jakes, okay, on just having a couple bullet points and notes instead of just going straight off the dome. But for this video, I wanted to really update you guys on my life, and I wanted to say it how I felt it. I didn't want to be scripted. I just wanted to come on here and have a conversation with you guys about where I was in life in this journey that I've been on. So make sure that you really, really, really follow along on this journey with me, because we are on the journey to learn how to be single and relentless for Christ. That word! Yes, I have to have a church girl moment every now and then. So, if you guys have any questions, comments, any words of encouragement, I take it all. Make sure you leave me a comment below. Thumbs up this video, and absolutely positively make sure that you are subscribed and you click the bell notification icon, because you never know when those videos will pop up. The vlogs are still going to happen. The beauty videos are still going to happen. The exercise are still going to happen. But the main goal of this here channel is going to be to teach you how to be single. You can both watch me live the single life, and you can both listen to me teach you, influence you, and we're going to study the word together on our singles classes that we are going to be having weekly. So invite a friend to subscribe, and y'all, I love y'all like a fat kid love cake in real life, because if you got to the end of this video, use the real run, and you really is my friend. Alright, y'all, I love you. Make sure you check out all the videos I mentioned in this video. I'll actually have a playlist for you right about now. I think we should be at the end of the video, so I'll make sure to create a playlist so you can click on it and you can see all of those, highlight, low light moments of my life. And then make sure you still go through and watch season 1, season 2, and season 3 of Go Live with April, so you can really see the journey that I went through, because it's lit, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's live and in color. And when you watch those videos, please know that I was just on the wheel, and God was just making me, and he was just transforming me into what you see sitting before you right here today. So don't judge me, because I'm not there. anymore. All right, y'all. I love you. I holla.